Hi everyone, it's the February report of Amos Kittens, and let's have a look at the latest changes and improvements. As you probably know, I posted a small post in the Amos coding on Facebook about implementing the fonts command, which you might think is trivial, that you don't need this maybe. But really a lot of the program starts with setting up the fonts, so this command is quite essential to many programs, so it real showstopper. So what have we done since last time? Well, I've been fixing a lot of bugs, things I didn't think was problem. I'm making sure that the program quit where the bugs were, not continue, and it would be very hard to find the bugs if it didn't stop at the right location. So it wasn't a bug that was the problem, it was the actually finding the bug that was the biggest problem, and which is also the part with the Linux. As you know, I did a small recompile of Amos Kittens for Linux, and to just find memory corruption bugs, because this was a huge problem. I've been constantly adding feature, and a lot of those new features contained bugs which was undetected. So really essential to get the Linux compiler running. The Amiga is Amiga OS hasn't very good memory protection. It's very poor memory protection, in fact. So, but it's better than nothing. It's better than nothing. So the Amiga OS or Workbench 3.x versions are really horrible in that regard, because you have to use external tools to even find bugs, which or your system will just go into good remediation and you will never find the bug. A little bit large credit to those that were coding in such a hard and difficult environment. But it should also point out that maybe there were other tools back in the 80s and 90s. So you have the action replay, which you can freeze the program, you can look at assembler, you can look at what was really happening, which is a useful tool for any guy that would want to make programs, rip music, take pictures from games, all the stuff like that. You can freeze instance, save games in middle of commercial games, etc. Probably, I know it was sold legally, so it was, but it was many uses for this thing, and very useful for programmers. But let's get started. Let's not make this video too long. As you can see, this is all my old programs, which are from the late 1988 till then I actually stopped coding in Amos. So this is the stuff that I'm really trying to get working, and this is why I'm motivated to continue with my project. It's not about making new programs, it's not about doing any of that, because really what I want to do is have a look at the old programs and see what they're doing. And as you can see, this is just a random program, and there's some cube, I think. There's some bug in my code, so this is not rendered correctly, and you can also see there's a lot of text being printed here. So and command read, which is not the most efficient command. So this was a bit slow. It was. I know this thing here is not so interesting. Let's see. Let's try this one. Yeah, this is a really short thing. It was an experiment, just it ran just too quickly. Let's try the extra. And so this was some kind of tool. I'm not sure what it was supposed to do. It was probably an installer or something like that, or probably something to do with one of my projects. Let's try F1. Okay. I like how it fades in and out. So it's a fading thing, which is finally implemented correctly. Took me some time. Okay, let's just exit the program. F6. Yeah, just a fade out. So this program is working. Let's try the file selector 5. Okay, and also one thing, I'm not so afraid of moving the window. I was very afraid of moving the window while I was dumping text in because there was some really strange bugs. So this one is also working. This was a kind of replacement for a file selector in Amos. I used it's not 100% working yet, but it works a lot better than it did just a few days ago. So I found a lot of bugs in this one. Large program. See, it's large for an Amos program. I will point out 25 kilobytes, which is nothing. So fractals, I think those uses some extensions, so you can those are not that interesting. Master intro, which is an intro I did a long time ago. I think also runs pretty nice. This should be view meters. You probably see it on text here. This is talk about this is just fake 3D. I didn't know how to make 3D back then, so interesting. I think this types the text too fast. It's also fun. Amos Kittens runs a lot faster than Amos Pro. Of course, I have a lot more megahash. I didn't emulate 68,000. It has doesn't need to do the planar stuff. So yeah. Okay. Master Scanner, this one crashed yesterday, so maybe we should move on. This one is not that interesting. New beta one, I don't remember. It has some pretty large files, so let's try this thing. No idea what it does. Okay. It uses a lot of extensions. I don't think this one is particularly okay. This will not I think you just exit this one. So extensions are a few commands are supported in different extensions, and those extensions are like turbo extension, craft extension, and yeah, music extension, some stuff, just a few commands, so barely enough to run my programs. So and this one was also on a demo which I did a long time ago. Also very I just I like this one because they did it was kind of interesting to do back in the day. Also there were view meters. As you can see, those are not working because there's some music, and the view commands aren't implemented. But this directory is just as it was back in the day. So this is also a cool thing about this. I haven't rearranged my source code or done anything to just pick and choose programs that work or don't work. They're as they were original, no changes. I haven't converted them to ASCII, I haven't done anything. They are the original files. That's and also what I do like about this project is oops, this is like the Norwegian flag that should be waving. This is just insanely fast. I had some CRC checking or something like that in there, and I removed that because why did I need that when they didn't have any corruption anymore? So I removed the CRC checking, which is the way to detect memory corruption as well. Which another option which can be enabled and disabled. Packer Pro is nothing useful. I don't think we should mess around with that. Power Hunter, I don't think this one works yet. I have no confidence at all with this, but let's try it. Oh, actually it does something. Let's assign this to RAM disk just so it finds something. Okay, just programs. I've made some programs back in the day to find text in. So this is the Power Hunter thing, which apparently did something. Printer won't work because their printer commands aren't implemented in Amos Kittens. This one will work. Yeah, it's a 3D object. Oh, but it's fake 3D, and for some unknown reason it speeds up. I don't know why. It just speeds up. Might be because the window is active or not active, or maybe there's something in the code that does it. I don't know. Yes. So Pyramide is working. It's just simple sinus, cosinus stuff, and nothing like Pythagoras. Yeah, I did know Pythagoras at the time, but I didn't know how to do vector calculations. So any advanced 3D isn't just fake. That's for sure. So let's see here. What does this do? Edit doc. Yes. Select yes. No. Let's try no. No. Okay, I don't think this one, yeah, works. Thank God I got out of the program, because I have problems with some programs when they're asking for text. So, snake, I wasn't going to test this one, but that's disk 0. I don't know where the disk 0 is, so I'll send this to RAM disk. Oops. Let's jump over those. Star2. Yeah, what's this happening here? It's doing something with frames. Oh no. This one. Great, it does something. Another interesting project I did a long time ago. also seems to speed up very rapidly when it might be something I did back then to with frames or screens or something like that to speed up Amos. Because back then it was very hard to do any 3D or anything without slowing down. So it's possible that some of those things are speeding up because of things like that, but no, I don't think it is. So this is another version of the same program. Yeah, there's the colors and it zooms out and in. It's a lot better, and yeah, it speeds up. I don't. That's a strange thing about my work on Amos Kittens. There are some very strange. Yeah, and this is some star routine I did, and also it runs very fast. It shouldn't run as fast as this. So most of the stuff is has vertical blanking or something like that, but so okay, it's also not working correctly. There should be some pops. It's control panel. I'm looking for that bug. There are probably a few glitches in my other demos. Maybe some pictures missing, some fonts not loaded correctly, stuff like that. Yeah, and this is also on demo stuff. Back then I looked to those demo groups, Crusaders, Crypto Burners, yeah, and many other demo. Oh my god, I think this is some porno or something. Let's close that one. It was ham picture, and I'm pretty sure it was a ham picture. It didn't look correctly in the colors, so useful memory. Let's not try that. Vertical slider, yeah, wave intro. Let's try that one. Yes. It's a scroll text. Ooh. This text size is wrong. The text is font is wrong. Didn't load the correct one. It uses some true type bullet font in AmigaOS, which is not correct. So yeah, let's try this window thing. Yeah, it does windows. Yeah, I was inspired by the Workbench desktop, and I wanted to do my own desktop in Amos sometime. Just like and the cover disc, there were on Amiga format, there were some fake workbenches and etc. So I wanted to do like a launcher or some type of thing which can I can like make some kind of demo around the window. So this was one of those experiments. It's possible there should be clipping or something here, because I see the text is outside the window. I haven't implemented clipping. So yeah, there's lots of stuff working. I'm actually very excited about did a lot of stuff. It's working. I just have to see if I can find let's see, party pack 3, let's try that one. Oops. Oh. Hey, here's some stuff. More music back. Yeah. Well, we did. So back in the days, we had a lot of fun doing projects in Amos, and it's just fun just seeing all those old demos and programs, and also just running those things straight out of by just clicking on them. I think it's also very cool. This is another flag thing. Okay, this is that flag thing is. Yeah, you see there's some of the master stjerner is on the other folder. This is just arranged in as they were on the original discs. So pyramid we have seen, master intro. So some of those stuff are like stored multiple places. So which is a good thing because I have a lot of my discs were pretty bad at the time. Some of those things were corrupted floppy disks, so I'm pretty happy that I have some of those stuff stored in multiple places, because not everything is stored in multiple places, and some of the source code are actually destroyed. So this is on a very special project I've worked on many years on the Adventure Editor. I'll come back to this one because I'm not pretty sure this one isn't working. This is pretty large project, and I spent many hours on that one. So it was something I'm looking for something. So I'm not sure which directory it's stored in. So this one also is something I have been working a lot on, just to get it to work slightly. Yeah, I can see this one is running too fast. Oh my god, see this scroll text. You can't read that. I'm pretty sure I didn't run this fast yesterday, but back yesterday I had this CRC checking enabled, so yeah. This is just insane. There's something like this is like partly controlled by Amal, which is actually moving the letters, and partly it's controlled by basic, and Amal is extremely fast in Amos Kittens, I would think. I haven't done any benchmarking on it, but it converts it into an extremely efficient format, so there's almost no delay, execution delay for any commands, and it's yeah, it's runs loco. It's loco, insane. Right, close that one. My god. There's this one is not working, I can tell. This is doing font string, and the index for font string is just decreasing. And it's now 8,400, and it tries the font 8,545 and can't find the font, and it's in a loop, so it doesn't know how to exit this loop, and it hangs. So there's a bug in my menu program because the font isn't available, and the program doesn't know how to deal with not finding the font. Right, so what can I say? There's bugs everywhere. It's bugs in my own Amos programs, it's bugs in Amos Kittens, and there's still lots of quirks to work out, and But it's just cool to just click on something and it runs and it does insane things, and yeah, it's just one of those things that inspires to just continue and getting more of the stuff working. So there's lots of Power Packer was also, I used a lot of Power Packer back in the day, and sadly I don't know how to unpack Power Packer. This is some problem I hate. I don't know how to do that, but there were currency programs included in Amos that did this, so and I don't have those in Amiga S4, because this is Amiga S4. So and there's some CLE programs I'm looking for. I know I have it somewhere, which is just annoying when I know I have something and I can't find it. If I remember what the name was, maybe. Let's try this one. Yeah. Some of the stuff isn't working, and I have no idea why. This will be also something I will be working on. This is my development tactic, really. To get the stuff I wrote back in the day working, it Amos has to work pretty good. Amos Kitten has to be like 100% compatible to do that. You can't start anything if you don't have the stuff implemented correctly. You don't. This will be one of the strengths for Amos Kittens, is that you don't need to convert anything. You don't need to port or change, implement something else. It will work out of the box, and you will get more colors, more everything, faster. So there's absolutely nothing that can't be done. And you know, this isn't even optimized. You see how crazy fast some of the stuff is running, and it isn't optimized. I'm planning to do change the interprenter a lot internally. So what will and then I will do the demonstration of how quick this thing is, because you will then see how insane this thing really is. Because then I will do the Mandelbrot and Julia and all those things, and maybe some other stuff you guys can think of. I really like to put this to the test, but I don't see any point in just showing things running. I want to go get the speed correct, and this will be more exciting for me actually than trying to get everything running. There's some stuff I didn't write. Let's see if we can find. Let's try this song. There nothing that has changed regarding these ones. So Yeah. So the config program, I showed you this before once, I think. Okay, that's not working anymore. This is also something, you get to fix some things, and then it's works, and then you fix some other things, and then it doesn't work, and then you have to go back and forth between things that worked and didn't work, and this is a process. So it's test-driven development is based on having tests which you test, see if this and this works. We are not we haven't written one single test, but I have a lot of programs to run, so it is getting tested. I can you can be sure about that. I just hate it when I can't find my stuff. Yeah. Well. At least you can see the progress of Amos Kittens. I'm sure you will have a great success in running many of your programs in Amos Kittens, and I will concentrate on the bugs and focus on implementing more commands and see where we're getting. We have, but I'm mostly going to prioritize my own programs, and I also. At the current stage, Amos Kittens is somewhere between Amos the Creator and Amos Professional. It's not as complete as neither in many ways, but in some areas it surpasses both. It has certain abilities which none of those old have. You have to set buffers. You don't have to set buffers in Amos Kittens. The variable stuff is just, it locks it when it tests the code and runs it. So you don't need to set buffers. That one is out the window. Don't need that. You have 256 colors. Almost on the original Amiga hardware were bound to the hardware limitations at that time. That's a feature. And dim command. You can only dim an array once in Amos Pro, and you cannot dim it twice. You can change the size of the array once you had allocated the array. This is also out the window. You can now reallocate an array. You can say, okay, I don't want 100, I want 1000 in my array. So, but if you do, content of the array will be wiped. I'm not copying. I'm pretty sure I'm not copying the stuff from the old to the new. So you can't increase the array. That's a limitation. It could be fixed later on. Maybe not. Haven't implemented recursive function callbacks, which I know more scientific community use. They can have it's nice for fractals and fractal programs, which do the stuff based on the other stuff that it did, and then it did another stuff on that. So fractal programs which do a lot of callbacks on themselves. You can think of it like if you have a tree with branches, you do the same stuff on each branch. So you can call the same function for each end of each branch. So you get this nice fine looking tree. This is nice for recursive callbacks, and what that requires is stack frames. I have to refactor all the variables, because now I'm doing a pretty fast way to handle variables just on global array with attributes. What I want to do maybe is split up this array into the many different arrays. So you have one array for integer, you have one array for float, you have one array for strings, and so on. Then I will call this data, this table with the different arrays, a stack frame. So for each function that is called, it will allocate the stack frame, and there are variables that are inside that. So all the variables are local to the procedure that is called, and stays within that stack frame until it calls another and another. So it would be able to handle calling the same procedure many times without because how we're going to do that is another question. How we're going to do that, which is an interesting concept of because we have to return to the place where we were before, and so on. And what we probably want to do is something that would never run out of stack, and something that would run, but it has to run fast. So we have to find something in between there. Because allocating buffers is slow, so if you can work with static buffers but reallocate more if we need, then that would be very useful, because then we can increase the static buffers, but then you have to be so this is something we have to think about in the implementation of this. So recursiveness is a very interesting concept. Yeah, because everything is written in C, so it's relatively easy to add new functions and create those in a nice C language, which is a lot easier than writing assembler. And for you guys that write basic, you probably get a lot more done that way. So, and you can probably understand what the C stuff does. So if you really want to learn C, you probably should have a look at that, because that's and then if you do look at that, we could probably speed up the development of Amos Kittens very much. So that will be great as well. And some other stuff I have, yeah. Voila. Then you find something. Because I wasn't thinking that I should look in icon editor, but you see this one. I think this one is very cool, because it's shell window, you know. Well, quitting system. This was so. This is one of those things that I think is cool about Amos Kittens, is actually it does stuff. It talks with AmigoOS, which is it knows about Amigos, and I think this is just cool, just seeing. Okay, I have no idea what I should supposed to type in this window, but that was one of the things I wanted to show you guys.